Hello again, and welcome back to my channel and the Sunday lunchtime of the weekend of my one-handed makers challenge. I thought I would put a video out, hopefully be out by this evening, just to bring together the entries of all the fantastic makers who've got involved with this and to provide the links to all their videos, to offer my personal thank you to everyone who's taken part in this and everyone who's watched and commented on it. And also maybe to bring a little conclusion together at the end of it, just to let you know what I thought about the whole thing. Just before I start sharing one or two pictures with you, I would really like to offer my personal thank you to everybody who's taken part in this this weekend. And it's not over yet. I'm aware there are still people who are going to be putting content out there. It's probably been the best weekend or the best couple of days I've had in recent living memory. Okay, I have been entertained, I've been educated, I've been sent on an absolute emotional roller coaster watching you guys coping with some of the difficulties, but also adapting, which I think was the biggest thing, and overcoming this challenge that you set and had the kindness, bottle and tenacity to take on. I'm going to share one or two pictures with you now. I hope you don't mind any of the makers. I've just screenshotted some of them and I have had some pictures taken, brought in with me. This is completely unscripted. I've just got one or two things that just spring to mind that I just want to say at the end. And let's just have a little look at them. Now, the first one is not a video, but was sent in to me from Joseph in Austria. Now, Joseph had made a wine holder type rack, and it's an absolutely beautiful piece of work, Joseph, and thank you for sharing this and emailing me with some pictures and a little bit of info. Now, a couple of things that I have took from his email to share with you. What I learned: working with one hand is hard. One works with a lot more thinking ahead, caution and care when only being able to use one hand. Most body parts are much more multi-purpose than we usually think, e.g. tucking stuff between your knees to hold them, opening and closing stuff like a vice with a knee or left elbow, using your mouth to pull on, put on or take off a glove. Okay, I think the majority of makers in this challenge, Joseph, have harnessed the power of leg clamps, which is probably the most useful tool, I'm going to say, in my armoury. So thank you very much for that, Joseph. Absolutely beautiful work and well done. All right, next one. We are going to look at David from Grumpy's Workshop, who has created a bird box. And again, I absolutely love this. The finish is magnificent. The actual blue, it's a beautiful finish. It really does look the part there, David. I know you're not going to be putting it outside maybe just yet, but I think it's an absolutely fantastic job. And just one thing that came out, well, one of many that came out from David's video, was what he expected to be difficult, i.e. using the table saw, using the miter saw, using power tools, was actually pretty straightforward. Okay, there may be a theme emerging here. All right, and what he found most difficult was some of the simple things like measuring, squaring, putting a pencil mark on. Okay, so thanks for uploading your video, that David. I really enjoyed that last night. And again, great work. Okay, next we are going to 10-minute workshop, and we are going to my YouTube friend Peter Millard. And basically, Peter, I don't know, I don't have the words. Thank you for everything you've done here. Okay, Peter was very vocal in promoting this challenge, shall we say, via his channel and via his Patreon and via all of his social media. And Peter created a bird box with a Wi-Fi camera in it, which was on the guidance of some RSPB stuff, but he's adapted it to his own specification and has very kindly put out the plans, I believe, on his Patreon page or for free. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And Peter, it was absolutely fantastic, and watching you work in your workshop again was extremely educational. Okay, the one thing, it's going to sound silly this, but it was one of the most simple things of his whole build, but I found absolutely enlightening was when he was actually mounting the bird box, he put a little bracket on the back of it just to rest it on top of the fence and then to drive the fixings through. And it was such a simple little thing, but it was brilliant, because if it had been myself doing that, we're going, well, how am I going to clamp this down? And I wouldn't have been able to clamp it because it just would have slid down. And it was just an ingenious piece of thinking. And it's, again, an example of simple things being so effective. Okay, Peter, working with his power tools, it was just the way he adapted, like his MFT or his track saw, you know, and the emphasis on the safety around that was absolutely fantastic. But again, what he struggled with most, I believe, is marking a line, which I've got dozens of hours of unedited footage of me being able to try and mark a pencil line unsuccessfully. So brilliant. Thank you very much, Peter. Absolutely loved it, and thank you very much for your support and in the promotion of this challenge. Now I'm going to take you next to Frank's little workshop. Frank, who I have been following, been a subscriber of for a little while now, and I love his projects. I really do. I love his making, I love his presentation style, and this one was his, like a box, it looked like a jewellery box really, and beautifully made. Again, Frank, as always, using reclaimed materials. His intricacy in the jointing and stuff was excellent. I am not going to lie, the entertainment factor of him trying to put on an apron or trying to put on a glove, it was absolutely brilliant, but brutally honest as well. So thank you, Frank. Enjoyed your video, always enjoy your videos, and thank you for taking part in the challenge. Right, next up, I am going to take you to my YouTube friend Karl Pope at Karl Pope Woodcraft, who uploaded a video this morning for a piece in his bathroom, a towel rail. Now, Karl, again, fantastic to watch. I love watching your videos. He was using the, I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to say it, the Japanese wood burning technique, and it produced a beautiful finish. Okay, and it was really good to see the processes in which he was working through, and the frustrations, and his honesty in sharing the frustrations, which I thought was brilliant. For example, putting on a pair of ear defenders. Okay, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy. Now, my solution to this, now people think sometimes, I'm not saying they think I go over the top with the PPE, but for things like ear defenders, my best one is actually this, because it's not so much that I enjoy wearing a hard hat, it's just that it's so easy to put the ear defenders on. Alternatively, I have reached to recently a pair of noise cancelling headphones, which are very good in the workshop, and saying they have to be at that brand, but it's dead straightforward to put on because they're quite light and they are flexible around that side. So maybe something for folk to consider in the future. Karl, fantastic work. Thank you for taking part in the challenge, and keep up the good work, sir. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, next I'm going to take you to David at Woodstock Workshop. David has been a subscriber to my channel now for a little while, and I'd like to thank you, David, for your positive, kind feedback and comments in my videos. And he has created a robot desk tidy, okay, which was a fantastic work. Again, I loved watching how he worked with the sander and with the bandsaw as well. Really enjoyed the processes you went through, David, and I really enjoyed looking at the finished product as well. So thank you very much for taking part. Next up, I am going to take you to Peter at the Small Shed. Now, I really enjoyed this because Peter done it slightly different because he'd done it a two-part. I believe there's a third part out today, actually, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I'm going to watch that this afternoon. Now, Peter, on his regular upload on a Friday, created a pair of coasters. And then on the Saturday, for the One-Handed Makers Challenge, made the same design of coaster, but doing it one-handed as opposed to the two-handed he done on Friday, and then talked about the difficulties and the differences between the two styles. Now, it was really interesting to watch that, Peter, and thank you very much, particularly for your kind words in regards to myself, which was it was quite emotional, to be honest, if I'm being honest with you. Thank you, sir. But also in terms of comparing to two-handed woodworking to one-handed woodworking in a slightly different way, in terms of comparing it in two different builds. So thank you for your upload there, Peter. Keep up the great work, sir, and I look forward to watching the additional content this afternoon. Aha, I'm going to take you now to Old Man Tony. I hope you don't mind me calling that, sir, but that is the name of your channel. Now, Tony took on this challenge and jumped the gun a little bit by posting it out about 2 weeks ago, which is fantastic. Tony, I really enjoyed your build. I enjoyed your brutal honesty in regards to things like setting up your miter saw stand and how them kind of things which you don't envisage at first, but actually being quite a difficult thing to do. Again, he used the Japanese wood burning technique, which I'm not going to name because I can't say it properly, to produce a set of coasters. It's a great video if you haven't seen it already. Very entertaining, very enjoyable, and very honest. So thank you very much for that, Tony. Take care, sir, and I look forward again to future content. Well, I thought I might actually include my own in this, which I hope you had the chance to have a look at the video and to check it out, which was an old penny and reclaimed beach resin table. Now, I've done some resin projects before and I have made some beach tables before, but this one was very kind of close to my heart for a gift from my Uncle Fred, and I'm just really looking forward to being able to go down and see him, to be honest, and to show it in and to put it down and to open a bottle of something nice and to put our feet up and have a drink and a chat. So I hope you checked it out. I hope you liked the end result. I'm really, really happy with the finish of it. I love making it. I love doing that kind of stuff, and I look forward to making some more in the future. And finally, with the videos that are currently available on YouTube whilst I'm putting this video out, I am aware that there is additional content from makers that is due to go out soon, and I will add links to those in the description as and when they appear. We are going to Keith Rag and Bone Brown, okay, and his video that he uploaded on Friday evening, his regular slot, which are these absolutely beautiful side tables. I absolutely loved this video for many, many reasons. Okay, it was educational, it was entertaining, it was brutally honest. Again, his pencil his pencil technique will live with me for the rest of my days. Okay, Keith, I'd like to thank you for getting involved in this, and also like to thank you for your support, your kind words, your advice since I set up my YouTube channel, which is just over a year ago, and for everything you do, Keith. I love your work and keep it going, and thank you so much for getting involved in this. Now, I have kind of purposely left Keith's video to the end because I was umming and ahhing whether to actually mention this, but I am actually, because if you have stuck with this video to now, then you are the folk who understood the nature of this challenge and the intentions behind it. Okay, if you didn't, you're not watching anymore. So Keith came in for some proper pelters in the comment section by, oh, stupid this, stupid what, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I was horrified. I have to admit, I genuinely was. I felt awful. Okay, I really did. And I was thinking, oh my God, people really thinking this. And I'm not going to say they've misinterpreted the challenge at all. I just think people just didn't understand the intentions maybe behind it. I think it was blatantly obvious as well. They didn't watch the whole of his video, okay, and they didn't understand the actual background to this challenge maybe, okay. Now, I'm not going to go on about that, but I am going to reference two folk, okay, who have actually been involved in this. I'm going to reference Peter from The Small Shed, which from a comment he made in a video, and it just really stuck with me. If you're going to be dangerous using one hand, I suggest you may be twice as dangerous with two. That pretty much perfectly sums it up. And I have lifted this from James's ManCave, one of his videos, because again, it stuck in my head. Disclaimer, how I use my tools, equipment and PPE is down to my choice. I use these tools based on my experience of using and operating these tools. Okay, I did not ask anyone to put themselves in danger. Okay, if anything, the purpose of this challenge was to be educated by much more experienced maker folk than myself, and if anything, it was an emphasis on safety. Okay, safe practice when you are physically limited is paramount and always will be, whether that's a temporary limitation like a challenge or a slightly more permanent limitation. Okay, I really do appreciate the spirit that all these makers have entered, you guys have entered into this video and in uploading your videos. I've absolutely loved it. A couple of recurring themes that came out was the biggest challenges that they envisaged. For example, the power tools, the table saw, the miter saw, any tool that requires power was actually the most straightforward of the challenges, you know, of the actual challenge that they faced, okay? And I knew that, okay, having done this now for a little while. The biggest challenges were these, was this, and more often than not, was a simple thing like that, okay? And I just maybe want to, I commented on Karl's video this morning, if I was talking about wanting to raise a little bit of awareness, a slight bit of maybe disability awareness, I'd like to maybe translate that very quickly into the real world, okay? For me now, and I've been back driving for 3 months, I think it is now, getting into a car and with its little adaptations and stuff and being able to drive, not a problem. Driving, no problem. Getting changed is a nightmare. Okay, and that's maybe where the slight parallels in this challenge that's come out today, over this weekend, okay, is the big stuff is actually pretty straightforward. It's the little things that can absolutely infuriate you and wind you up no end. Okay, once again, thank you all for taking part. Thank you all for watching if you haven't taken part and contributing with your comments and your positive feedback. And take care, everyone. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.